Okay.
All
Okay.
right.
Welcome to Chopcast. I'm Griffin. That's Sam to my
Yeah,
right.
that's Griffin. Yeah, that's
I'm
Griffin.
Sam. That's Griffin. I'm Will, and Will is at the
I'm
bottom.
Will.
Will is also yeah. Um,
Yeah.
a good series overall. Diamondbacks are poop, and they showed it. And we showed
Yep.
them up until Jacob Webb decided that he wanted to return to his glory days.
Like
And
pre All-Star break, Jacob Webb,
yeah,
prime time. I will
really,
say he got put in a tough position, but still.
yeah.
Second pitch.
But I mean,
Second
he
pitch.
he he contributed to all 6 runs. He was the one that he didn't earn those, but he was the one that
He's on
pitched
the
the
mound
ball
for it.
for all of those 6 runs, and he threw 10 pitches.
Good lord.
10 pitches, 6 runs.
I
Anyways.
Oh
know
my
I
god.
know we'll get to that game later, but
Mhm.
that was just the classic like Snicker leaving the starter in for just a little too long. Like everyone knows he shouldn't go into the 7th inning, and then that happened.
I mean, it was Charlie, but yeah,
He was at like 96 pitches. I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, he was.
yeah.
Um,
So
he put 2 on base with no outs.
yeah,
Um,
exactly.
but yeah, good series overall. Sam said the thing that I feel like all of us feel, and that I said the last couple days too, is I hate how much the last game of a series dictates
Mhm.
how you feel about it. Because I mean,
Yeah,
this was exactly what we needed to do. Um,
yeah,
Bats are heating up,
yeah.
and feel like we are in a good spot right now, other than losing that
Mhm.
last game, right where we need to be. Um,
Yeah, I feel like that sentiment's also compounded with the fact that the Phillies
yeah,
haven't been doing us too many
Mhm.
favors. Not
And you're
necessarily
going
the Phillies, but more the fucking Pirates and the Orioles
which I
not
mean,
winning
and
games they
you're
should be winning.
yeah,
and you're going straight in from that loss to play the Padres, who are definitely disappointing, but I mean, they're still pretty damn good. And
Yeah,
they've still got some athletes.
yeah.
mm,
I mean, they're absolute contenders. They're just in a fucking crazy good division. That's ruining baseball. Also, fuck the Giants. Fuck the Dodgers.
It is.
I'm fine with the Giants. The Giants
Yeah.
are all because it's not like they have a giant payroll or anything. I want they
Yeah, you gotta give the Giants some love.
like
That's
You gotta
fair.
give the
like a
Giants
lot
some
of their
love.
players.
They got some
Yeah,
wizardry on
yeah,
their hands.
yeah, yeah,
I got
yeah.
it. I got it. Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
uh, yeah. I guess just getting into the games. Game one, uh, was the main concern I have from this game, other than I mean, that 5th inning was just
Mhm.
beautiful.
Lights out.
Um,
Lights out.
Waskar keeps getting
Mhm.
less sharp, which is concerning.
Yeah.
Um, I think this series was kind of resembling what I had said last series about like who would be our third starter in the postseason, whether it's Inoa or Anderson. Because
Right.
like right now, neither one is really solid there. Like Anderson had been performing worse than Inoa, but was on the upward trend, and then Inoa was performing better than Anderson, but on the downward trend. Um, and I think that showed this game. Only going 4, uh, they were getting they were getting wood on all his balls, all over his balls.
Really? Really?
Sorry.
On,
But
you knew you were gonna say that.
I was
Hours
I know.
before you
I
said
didn't.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
This
I
podcast
respect
is for
it
adults,
though.
Griffin.
I think it's funny. I
It's
think it's
true.
funny.
This is
We're all college age kids. That's
this is
funny.
not a kids podcast, you know.
It's not for kids.
No. Anderson had his best performance, I think, of the year.
Yeah, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Looked very
Phenomenal.
good. Only 2 hits.
Incredibly sharp.
8
Yeah.
strikeouts. He's still showing that, like, I can't remember what they said about his ERA this year for the first inning, but it's like upwards of 6, I think, and then past that it's like a 2.5 or something.
Yeah.
I don't really know what it is about starting the game for him, but he just like is consistently throwing 20 pitches, which both of those 2 hits and the run came in the first inning, and then he didn't give up a run or give up a hit after that.
Yeah.
But anyway, game 1, struggling, but gave us enough at least. Bullpen looked really good, other than Rich Rod giving up yet another solo shot.
Yeah.
I now no longer trust him very much.
Yeah. I was gonna say he's fallen off very quickly. I mean, I don't have the exact stat on it, but I feel like every series he's giving up at least once.
Yeah. Or 2. There was that one game he gave up 2 solo shots. But he gave up 2 hits and 1 earned run. Which again, that's kind of how he pitches. Like if they're gonna get a hit, it's probably gonna be a blast. But I don't know. Sean Nukem still looking really good. I don't think he's given up a run like since he started coming back in the bullpen for us.
Yeah.
He's down to a 4.
He's got. I was just gonna say he's got a 4.88 now, which doesn't sound great, but considering he was at I'm pretty sure like a 6.5 like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Those ERAs for relievers too, they can be pretty. They're not a great measure because I mean I know he just moved into the pen,
extrapolation.
Yeah, because a lot of the time they'll like have an off night or something, and then they'll leave runners on base for the next guy, and the next guy's just also dog water and lets them all in, and then it goes on that first guy. Sorry, I just.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean, it was pretty resemblant of what he was contributing to the team in the first half of the season, and even really up until like a month ago, he was not good. And then Chris Martin made his first start back. Lot of pitches, but did the job. He gave up a run. He gave up a home run in the 3rd game of the series, but otherwise he did. He's looking better-ish.
Yeah.
Still not like what he used to be, but hopefully he gets back to that point, at least close.
Yeah, I know he gets injured a lot too, but he has proven to be a type of guy that will return well from injuries. So hopefully he keeps it up, keeps his runs.
Santana looked clean-ish too. In terms of hitting, outside of that one inning where we had 7 runs, most of the contribution came from Austin. Pretty much this whole series. I think he got 2 or 3 home runs this series. I know he's not going to win the MVP. I feel like at this point it's definitely going to be Bryce Harper. But I feel like at this point he should be top 3, top 4 in voting.
Just to go off on your note, he had 3 home runs, and then obviously like a multitude of doubles, and then he had that one that probably should have gotten out, but like deepest part of the park.
Yeah.
I agree though. I think his defensive stats kind of hold him back a little, but he's absolutely in the conversation.
Well, it's just because like his defense is incredible, but his one fault is just his arm. Like he
Yeah,
doesn't.
he throws it very.
Just kind of wildly.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I
on
kind of flinch
easy
every time.
ground balls, sometimes he'll throw it like 3 feet above Freddie's head, who's like 6'6".
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean that's really his only flaw at this point. He
Mhm.
was high in strikeouts, or still is, but I feel like a lot of that had to do with the first half of the season. Um, but Rosario has still continued to be incredibly solid.
Mhm.
Like whatever happens with our team and with Anthopoulos, like in the next couple of years, you have to like give him a lot of props for the moves that he made.
Yeah.
Because each of those guys that he traded for uh, are now like consistent starters, the ones at the deadline at least,
Yeah.
and are contributing heavily. Duvall very silently leads the National League in RBIs. And
Mhm.
Soler has been getting hits, even though this series he went 2 for 17, which is probably his worst series so far.
Yeah, it's got to be up there.
Other than that, been producing, and then Rosario hits the hits for the cycle.
It's for the cycle out of nowhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
off of 5
What?
pitches.
Yeah. Like
Um,
what?
and I just didn't process until one of these games. I think it was this one. They were just like showing the starting lineup and whatever, and then like at the bottom of the first showing the outfield, and I was just like, all of these guys weren't on our team to start the year,
Mhm. Yeah.
and now they're like
Yeah.
crucial parts of our team.
100%. I mean, just the outfield alone has just changed so much. I mean, we started with Acuna, Christian Pache, who hasn't seen the fucking light of day since what, like May.
Mm,
He's been AAA the whole
Mm.
season, and then Ozuna left, and now we're relying on Soler, Jock, and Duvall
and Rosario.
and
Ja-
Rosario.
I
But
kind of
yeah, I guess
forget
we've
that.
seen less. Yeah, he's been like not really used. Honestly, I've seen Heredia
He
like
was,
more lately than Jock.
Yeah,
which is pretty surprising. He was like the big trade
yeah,
for the Braves. I mean, he's the one that at least made the headlines. That may have been more because of he was the first one to go
Yeah,
from the Cubs.
yeah.
But
well that and
still, I mean, I
it was
think
like
that just speaks to the trades themselves. Sorry.
I was gonna say it was like 2 or 3 weeks before the trade deadline too,
Mhm.
so it was like
Yeah.
all they had to talk about.
Hmm.
Which he was crucial when he came.
Mhm.
I just forget that he's like on our team sometimes. Um,
Yeah.
and he he's definitely in terms of value right now. He's not an everyday starter as opposed to
Mhm.
Soler or Duvall or Rosario. Um, I think he's better than Heredia. I think the only reason
Mhm.
Heredia gets starts is because he gets played in center field and just because he's has like some I guess like street cred with Snicker or
Mhm.
something. Um,
Yeah, he has been around longer.
but
You gotta watch.
I think I mean I think we kind of knew this too. Like Jock was a gamble coming in
Mhm.
because he wasn't doing very well in Chicago. Like he had points where he was doing incredible, but dropped down to getting close. I mean, he started the year, his average almost dipped below 100. I remember when we played him, there was this point where which I mean it was like 15, 20 games into the season. Um, but I was saying before he came up to bat, like if he gets out here, he's gonna be below 100, and then he hit a double, I think. But
Good for him.
but when he when he was the guy like that we needed to get going, he was producing a lot. Now bringing in those other guys, clearly not
Mhm.
as reliable, but I think that probably was part of the plan for the future of this year if those moves could work out and if he could like give us a little bit of kind of a kickstart. Most of his value is going to come in the postseason where he's like dominant. So I think that's kind of what we're relying on at this point. I don't really think he's going to start very many more games. Maybe like 1 or 2 at this point.
Yeah. I think you're right. We've just got to figure it out in the outfield. I was a little hesitant on Soler to start, kind of just because eye test his average was low, but that's just because his first half of the season was complete ass, and he's completely turned it around here. So I'm happy with that. Obviously, love Duvall, and clearly Rosario's cementing himself as like a really key player for us. I mean, he hit for the cycle. Like no average player does that.
Yeah.
So that's been good.
Yeah, I think our outfield at this point is locked in for who's starting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Jock or Heredia, if we get in the postseason, have like a spot start in a game, maybe if we're up in a series or something, depending on the matchup. But I feel like it's going to be consistently Duvall, Soler, and Rosario at this point. Maybe Jock if it was against a right-hander. But yeah, other than it's a pretty lockdown game from our pen. Freddie was going off. Ozzy started to heat back up again and showed it that game. Duvall does what he does and gets like 1 hit a game, if anything, but hits a bomb. That was the game that he hit a 483-foot one. Yeah.
Yeah, it was absolute missile.
It's the longest of his career, and it was the 4th longest home run.
I think it's the 4th longest.
And Fried got a pinch hit, walk.
Yeah, that was fantastic. He's batting .306. Like that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. Like it's not even a small sample size. Like he's had a considerable amount of plate appearances.
Yeah.
Definitely above pretty sure central limit theorem. That's some stats for he's 30. I wonder if he's over that.
Noah's still sitting at 241. He hasn't hit in a long time. You just expect him every time he shows up to hit a home run. If he doesn't do that, it's a failure.
Yeah, for real. Designated Waskar. His grand slam was awesome.
Yeah. But 5th inning, very, very fun to watch this game. I kind of felt something coming. And the fact that we gave up the lead immediately after we took it, and that we were able to, it was another inning before, but the fact that we were able to come back from that as strong as we did gave me a lot of hope for the rest of the season. But yeah, game 2, bullpen game.
Much better than expected.
Yeah, I wasn't
much better than. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting to lose any of these games. But this was clearly the one I was like, we're gonna have to score. Smiley was the only one who gave up a run. Which I think he gave it up pretty immediately.
I mean, honestly, I'm pretty happy it was only one, considering he went 3.1. Because he's the type of guy that's just going to let up runs, unfortunately. So honestly, only one's fine by me. He's eating up innings too.
The thing I was thinking about Anderson when I was thinking about this game and what Smiley worked with, and I'll get into that when we go to the next game. But I think Chavez has had starting experience. And he's old. So he worked pretty effectively other than issuing 2 walks. But pretty solid game. Austin went off again. Albies went off again. So Larry did something at least.
I'll take it. Some Soler power.
Dansby went 2 for 4.
Same for Freddie and Travis.
Dansby is still like ice cold right now.
Yeah.
Which this was his hottest game.
Yeah. He has his streaks, and he is definitely not streaking right now, for lack of better phrase.
Well, he is streaky, but in the poor way.
Yeah, exactly.
But I've kind of like he started Contreras. I forgot about him. He started game 1 and he looked a lot better. He's looking a lot more control at the plate.
I was gonna say the discipline's definitely at least getting there.
Yeah,
I think he's just a classic guy that just needs a little more time in the minor leagues to develop longer. Because he has it. I mean, we saw him start a considerable amount, first half of this season, and I always liked him, but you could tell there's a few missing pieces.
I like that we're getting d'Arnaud some rest now, though.
I agree.
And because they alternated each game, and like d'Arnaud started like 5 games in a row. For a while. But yeah, I really love our bullpen right now. We just switched on a dime this second half of the season.
Yeah.
And that's like, I mean, I had said that in there, like, or when I was talking about, well, I mean, we didn't start doing this podcast until after the trade deadline. But I talked to you about it, that like, I knew if we got one piece in there that was solid at the time, which was Rich Rod, that we didn't really lose that much from our bullpen, who was one of the best bullpens in MLB last year, other than Melanson, and like technically Shane Green and Darren O'Day, which I think Darren O'Day was on the downswing, and he hasn't been that much this year. So it was a huge loss. Melanson was a big loss.
Big loss.
And what Shane was producing was a significant loss too.
But of course not. He actually just got DFA'd by the Dodgers.
Dang.
Shane Green. So fall from grace. He held out for like more money and just
I don't like
terrible.
I don't really know how a lot of the analytics stuff works, but apparently, like, I read articles on why people weren't signing him and whatever, which was because he wanted more money. But it's like, well, he had like a 2 ERA season and was very consistent, had a couple saves too. Like, why don't you assign him? And apparently there was some specific analytic that had to do like with balls in play or something. I could be.
He probably had a high BABIP. Was that it?
It could have been.
Yeah.
But it just like, it was very. Regardless, he produced, and it was really surprising to see how terrible he was with us. Or not entirely, because he didn't get a spring training, which I feel like sets you back a lot. But even then,
definitely.
But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, that going back to my point, that we got one piece in there, give everybody some confidence, like people are going to start producing again. And you have people like Luke Jackson, who just absolutely disappeared last year, coming back and shutting people out, which he's down to down to a 201 now. And Magic's producing again after his little hiccup that he had, which I still want him to be our closer at this point, either him or Luke. I'm not going to get into the stereotypical Will Smith rant here. I won't let myself to it.
Yeah, we've done that. It's just so much.
We're obligated to have one every episode.
That's true.
That's the only issue.
I'll blow up on him later.
Okay, good. We don't want the viewers to miss out on that.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a pretty consistent game. There wasn't I really felt like all of these games was just we were in control, and I was like, we're gonna win. I don't really feel concerned about anything.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch many of the games like all the way through. I was just kind of checking in. Other than the last game, I watched that all the way through. But every time I looked at, for real, I was literally sitting in class, like back row, had it on just slowly like descending, and then I saw Jacob Webb come in, and I'm like, oh, he's got it, and then like 3-run home run, and then it just got worse. But all that to say, like I felt like every time I checked in, we were playing exactly how we needed to be playing, like scoring runs. These are games, obviously, we have to win, and all things considered, winning 3 out of 4, you'll take 9 times out of 10. Unfortunately, that 10th time out of 10 is what we would have liked to see with the 4 out of 4. Just a tough loss yesterday.
If the Phillies lose one more game of the game, like they should have lost. Like the Orioles almost swept them, and I really feel like they should have lost game 2, especially.
Yeah.
They lose one of those games.
They're not clutch. Like
No.
the Phillies just aren't a clutch organization.
I mean, they had a walk-off, but it's like they're not good. They are not a good team. But we'll get into them after we get through the rest of the games. Game 3, same story, very consistent. Ian Anderson just blows the doors off. I love seeing first and second inning. First inning was tough. Second inning he was just throwing a lot of balls in the dirt and seemed like he had no control, but he very quickly cleaned it up. He's one of the few pitchers that I've seen that just gets better as he goes on. The only thing that is really stopping him is like how gassed he's getting. The thing I was gonna say about him, like, I feel like I don't know if it's just like the first inning in general or like his first inning of work, but I don't know if now is the time to try it, since we only have like 10 games left in the season. But I feel like using an opener for him could be potentially very beneficial, considering that he can go 7 innings, including how terrible he is in the first. If you have an opener go, and it really is just like the first inning of the game, you have your opener start, and you have him go 7 at his best, and then all of a sudden you're closing. I wish that we had tried something with that like earlier in the season, because I know they did that with a couple guys with the Rays, mostly for them because they don't have their main lack on their team is in starting pitching. But other than that, performed really well. Chris Martin struggled a little bit. Got through it. Other than that one solo shot, Luke Jackson's incredible right now. And
he's 201? Yeah, he's 201. Crazy.
And Nukem.
So honestly, I was thinking about this the other day. I genuinely feel like Luke Jackson was like an all-star snub. Like even before the all-star break, before the trade deadline, he's just been so fucking good this season.
Yeah, he's definitely a very under the radar reliever. And I think it's still like just seeing what he had done last year and what he had done at the end of 2019. I feel like a lot of people that know anything about him are just like waiting for him to blow up. Because that's what I feel like I've kind of done. Even saying the words like Luke Jackson is incredible concerns me.
Yeah, because it's almost like, when is it going to change?
Yeah.
When is he going to go back to form? Because Luke Jackson historically hasn't been like the worst reliever, but it was kind of like a Will Smith situation where it felt like every time he was getting on the mound, like someone was getting a double or someone was getting walked or someone was getting on base. I guess Will Smith is more just like, giving up home runs, but
Luke doesn't really give up home runs as much as he does like just put people on base.
Just putting people on.
Like
I feel like every time I turn the TV on with Luke Jackson pitching, it'd be like 1 out, man on first and second. Like,
yeah, and he's been incredible this year. Lineup produced again. Ozzy, this was his worst game. He like got 1 hit, and I think that was get the home run. This one. Riley's still going off. Duvall.
Yeah.
This was the game that Duvall had a home run taken away. Did you see this?
It was like a.
Did you see Duvall's home run that got taken away?
I think I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's tough.
he hit it over the fence essentially and got like confused. And Austin Riley turned back and like he accidentally ran past him, and it's just kind of like a clusterfuck. But that was
It
a
was,
weird way to start the first inning.
what happened was like it was short of the wall, and the guy tried to catch it and couldn't, and like forced it
Yeah.
out. Like he pushed it beyond the wall.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then
This
so
is.
the umps were just they just stood there. They didn't signal home run. They didn't signal like fair ball or anything. They just were like, and didn't tell Duvall anything. Duvall just kept standing there, and looking at the umps, and the umps just kept looking at each other and they didn't say anything. And then Austin was like, like assuming that he caught it, running back to first, and then barely past Duvall. Very frustrating.
Very frustrating.
They counted it as a single, but Duvall still scored. And then Austin was out, and Freddie scored, so he got 2 RBIs for it. I don't.
But it's not a home run.
It's not a home run. It would have been his 38th home run, I think.
Yeah. He's
Which
at
is
37
stupid.
right
That
now.
got torn from him.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean,
and just because the umps did nothing. I mean, the dude did force it over the wall, but it's still technically a home run. But the umps did not signal anything.
I'm just happy that we did not lose by 1 run.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we ran away with this game. I don't think there was really any turning back. It felt like we hit like 3-4 home runs. I mean, 3 home runs, 4 technically.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3 on paper, but 4 with 2 balls, and they all felt just like kind of like right on time. Also good to see like a fun 3-run 9th inning. Like we don't get that too often.
Yeah. So it's saying on here on the scoring summary, Duvall singles to deep center, Freeman scored, and Riley scored. Duvall out at second on runners, fielder's choice.
Which makes no sense.
But they called Riley out. I'm pretty that was the. So is it if? I thought it was if the runner. So like if you like the thing that happened with Bellinger and Turner earlier this year is that Turner hit a home run, Bellinger didn't know it came over the wall, and then ran back, and they called. Is it that they called Bellinger out or well? So in this case, is it?
Yeah.
They're saying that Duvall was out. I thought it was Riley would be out.
I think Riley was out. I don't know if that's just like a mistake on
ESPN's
the box
part,
scores. Yeah, on ESPN, but kind of weird.
The whole thing is stupid. I don't like that's the basis
obviously.
of it. But yeah, Contreras 2 for 4 again. Same line that he went.
Love to see it.
Game 1. Ian took a walk in 6th inning. I remember that. I think that was the 6th inning. He was the first.
Right,
He's the first batter up there. He wasn't swinging anything. He walked the guy.
Just let all the pitches go by. All right.
Yeah, sitting at a comfortable 0.59.
Good lord. Also, quick side note: I did look up Max's ABs. He's had 49 this season, 15 hits.
That's a decent sample size.
Yeah, pretty impressive.
Yeah. Considering Max Scherzer's had a similar amount and he has 0 hits this year.
It's like, come on. I mean, I know Scherzer's going to be NL Cy Young, so he's more than pulling his weight, but like really not one hit.
Do you see the John Boy video talking about Scherzer like so Clayton Kershaw, his first start back from the rehab assignment, had like a dribbler hit. He just like hit over top of it and it like dribbled to the second baseman and then he like fumbled the ball and they counted as a hit. And Scherzer is just in the dugout and he kept yelling at Trey Turner. He's like, "That's fucking bullshit."
That's bullshit. That's funny. Should be an error. Yeah.
Freddie's cooking again. He's up to 304. He was 3 for 5 this game.
Absolute beast.
And Soler, I mean, so like technically he went 2 for 17 this series, but he got an RBI this game and 2 walks. So he's still seeing the ball at least good enough. I feel like he hasn't been striking out that much. I'm looking at game 4 too. He was 0 for 5, but he only struck out once. It was ground out, pop out, ground out, fly out. So hopefully not too concerning. But yeah, game 3, it's kind of similar to game 2 and game 1, honestly.
Yeah.
The only times I was concerned really in this series was game 1 after the 4th inning.
Yeah.
And then it just seemed pretty easy after that. Game 4.
Yeah. Tough one.
Again, that whole time I was like, when they hit to get home, no, they just got a single. When they got a run in the 5th, I was just like, which I feel like probably our team might have felt the same thing too, where it's like, who cares? And then we scored one immediately after.
Yeah, and it just all fell apart in what, like 7th, was it? 7th?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, come on, dude. We just can't be losing.
That's a way to like. Just.
It's I don't know. I will say it was a good game until the 7th inning. I'm a bit of an armchair manager, and I'm a big Snitker critic. But I just felt like leaving Charlie in for the 7th there. Like, it just seems so obvious what was about to happen. Because he goes in with, I think, around 90 pitches, then immediately puts 2 men on base, 0 outs. And Jacob Webb, for, whatever you think about him, you can't say he hasn't been good since coming back from his AAA stint. He's been fantastic, actually.
Yeah.
I don't think he let up a run in his past, 10 or 11 innings.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that. Yeah. So I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. Obviously, he let up a home run on the 2nd pitch, which you just can't do, and then proceeded to, I think, let in another earned run.
I don't think it doesn't really matter who you are as a reliever. Getting 0 outs and being on the mound for 6 runs as a reliever is pretty inexcusable. I haven't seen that happen in a long time, especially on a team that's good. I've seen it happen to, it's probably happened multiple times to somebody like the Diamondbacks this year. But not getting 1 out, in a way you can kind of consider it unlucky, because I mean, you just put the ball in there and they put it in play at least 7 times out of 10, it's gonna be an out somehow. But still, 3-run homer.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
What exactly? I'm gonna look up. I was at the gym when this was happening. It was 3-1, or it was 4-1. And I was like, this game's wrapped up by the 7th.
Yep. And
and check my phone again, and okay.
It's tied. So, yeah. Even after the 3-run home run, I was like, okay, they're finally giving us a run for the money. We'll probably still win. And then Webb proceeds. I think he let up a double, which
I'm looking at the play-by-play.
As a sack fly.
Yeah. Charlie had 5 pitches this inning and gave up 2 singles, and then I'm looking at ball placement too. 2 pitches, second pitch, home run. Changeup was I'm gonna turn this around somehow. If you can see, look how middle that is. Can you see that?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest.
Just pretend it's the most middle thing you've ever seen.
Okay.
Oh, it's the most middle thing I've ever
seen.
It's so middle,
yeah. It's literally, it's almost perfectly middle change up at 82 miles an hour. Especially if he was sitting breaking ball there, that's easy. That is an easy home run.
That is the easiest hit an MLB player can.
And then a 4-pitch double that was like at the warning track, and then 4-pitch double again, also to the warning track. And then Madsen came in and two of the people that were on base for Webb scored. Hopefully that doesn't like leave an awful taste in their mouths and they show up to the Padres just like defeated, especially the bullpen. I would not put Jacob
I think if
Webb
any
into...
team feels defeated right now, it's the Padres.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
but I feel like they could also just be very pissed. That's my concern.
Yeah.
Because they still technically have a chance too. It's like a 0.2%.
Yeah, they're not eliminated, but they're in it. I mean, there's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. They're pretty much
unless
done.
they sweep us.
Kind of hope that Machado and Tatis fight in the dugout again. Just
I don't think they were fighting. I think Machado was saying like, kind of giving him some tough love.
Yeah,
which I guess you could say.
And Machado's also kind of an asshole and also kind of a psychopath. So that's what he was trying to do, but he also just.
But it just came across as like just evil. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you see that picture of him, like his mouth as wide as it possibly can get, and his eyes as wide as they can get, and screaming. I think Machado's grown up a little bit, but he's still. I mean.
That's what he said. He said that in an interview after.
What?
That he was basically like, yeah, I made a ton of mistakes early on in my career, especially with like managing personalities and stuff, which it's putting it lightly. I mean, he threw a bat at a third baseman.
Yeah, he tried to break Jesus Aguilar's foot, too.
Yeah. I would like to think you could grow up from that. So
yeah,
hopefully one would certainly have.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much to say. At least Rich Rod didn't give up a solo shot, so there's that.
Yeah, there it is.
And then our offense
I don't know. I still like Rich Rod, but I think you're right. I don't know if you mentioned this before we started or doing it, but actively losing a lot of faith in Rich Rod.
Oh.
What?
I just looked at our top of the 8th, too. 3 straight strikeouts.
Yeah.
Rosario, Darno, and Swanson.
Right after a 5-run inning. Like, that just... you can't.
Yeah.
Also looking at the win probability chart is pretty rough. Like, we were 92.2% favored, and then immediately...
fucking cliff.
Yeah, literally went from 90.6 to 83.8 in their favor in one.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Let's move on. Talk about our division contenders. We'll start with the Mets.
There's a lot. Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm not talking about the Mets.
They're done. Goodbye.
They're gone team.
Yeah, they're done.
Phillies. I gotta grab my charger, but I'm gonna keep talking. Phillies, they're a butthole team. They just suck. If Bryce Harper was not like on fire right now, they would have lost like their last 10 games. They're poopy butt.
Poopy.
Dude,
and honestly, what's up?
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm looking at his stats from yesterday's game with the Pirates, and he didn't even get any hits yesterday, but he got walked 3 times.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I mean, oh my holy God.
Yeah, that's just an MVP like kind of stat line. I'm kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I've talked to my brother about this a lot throughout the season, but the Phillies are just like such a rat organization that they're the exact type of people that would swoop in last second with fucking series against the Marlins, the Pirates, the Orioles, and just take the division for no reason. Like, of course, they're playing just absolute junk teams to finish out the season. Of course, they're the Phillies. They're fucking terrible.
I will say I'm not really scared about the Padres just because I was looking at their probable pitchers for this series, and they haven't posted them yet.
Yeah.
But from what I remember, they've pretty much all been pretty abysmal. Like Darvish has had like a 7 ERA or 6
Yeah, he's
ERA
had one of the.
since
I think he's had like
the
probably his
All-Star
worst
break.
season. Yeah.
But I mean, he's still historically a very good pitcher, so it's like
Yeah,
he could get to a point where he
you never
turns
want
it
to
on.
run Yeah, they're okay. So they're probable for tonight, or they're starting for tonight. Also, we're minus 135 favorites. Is Reese Nair, who has a 3.93, followed by undecided, and then we're gonna have Wasp pitching that night. Then game 3, Musgrove, who's really good, and we're undecided too.
Well, Musgrove's been doing pretty bad too.
Yeah, he's at 3.15. So whoever we put out there will probably be whoever we put out there will probably be along the same path. I mean, I think all of our starting pitchers are in the threes. Griffin,
what are you doing?
You got the deer. Will it do? Yeah.
This is who I watch games with.
What?
The deer's joining us. For everyone listening, not on video, that isn't watching the video.
So the Phillies, like I've been saying this forever now, are so butthole. Their lineup doesn't produce anything. If they okay, I gotta see. The outlet right next to my computer is not working right now, so I can't go over there. Can y'all look at their stat lines against the Orioles? You can't. They went. I think they scored 2, 3, and 2, or something like that.
I hate them.
I'm looking at the last game right now. But Odubel Herrera, no hits last game. Gene Segura, 2 for 3. Bryce Harper, 1 for 2 with 2 walks. JT had 1. Andrew McCutchen had 1. My boy, Freddie Galvis had 1. Didi, 0 for 4.
Didi's been so bad this season, bro. They're paying him like $15 million too.
He's been awful.
Idiots.
Their lineup's okay. Their top. I'm not really concerned of their outfield is pretty bad outside of Bryce Harper.
I think the only
and
thing.
then missing.
Keep going.
Griffin the Deer. I just can't.
I think the only thing keeping them alive in this at all in general is Bryce Harper and their rotation, and that's it.
Yeah. Very good start. Very good start.
It's kind of like how at the beginning of the year the Mets kept surviving just purely because of their bullpen. But yeah, the fact that a team who nearly got swept by the Orioles could win their division theoretically is stupid. Is just not. That's my professional analytical point of view on things.
It's stupid. It's dumb.
It's so stupid.
It's so stupid. I hate it.
This Padres series is pretty damn huge.
It's been every series.
No, I know. I'm just saying that though because this time, if it's very possible. I'm not saying very, but it's possible. There is a world out there where it happens, where the Braves are actually in second place in the division behind 1 game.
There is a world where that exists, and I don't want to be a part of it.
And
And I don't
I don't
honestly
want to
at
be a
that
part of
point,
it either. I'm just saying.
I'll say it. I think watching the Phillies get absolutely smacked by the Brewers in the postseason would be objectively funny.
Imagine them
But
winning,
obviously, then that would suck balls.
Yeah.
That would suck big old balls. That would suck balls. If
You know
that
the
happened.
last time they were in the playoffs?
It's like
Phillies?
2013.
Must have been 11 or
It was
12,
like
right?
2012 or something.
Yeah, it's been a while.
The second longest drought besides
The
Seattle.
Mariners. The Mariners has been like
Have a
20
shot.
years or something. It's crazy. I mean, they do. It's slim, but they're kind of my AL team for sure.
Someone's
Are you
calling.
trying to put the deer next to the camera on
He's got
purpose?
his FaceTime. It's FaceTime though.
It's like my security blanket for when I'm talking
From
about
the Phillies.
the Phillies. Yeah. But so they have the series against the Pirates, and then we play them. Is that
Yeah, and then they play the Marlins. So
at the Marlins, which is
I mean, I think the season's gonna come down to our series with them.
yeah, probably.
Like I know game 162 is a thing, but
You think like I mean I don't think either team is gonna sweep in the Phillies Braves series.
yeah, no,
So
I don't think so
theoretically, the
either.
worst thing that could happen is we give up one game.
Yeah.
And something that
We would have to win the series though.
something that they were saying on Bally the other night after Game 3, which is when we had 12 games left at that point. So I guess we have 11 games now left. I think.
I think it's 9.
It's 9.
9 Padres or three against the Padres, 3 against the Phillies, 3 against the Mets.
Is one of those a double header though with the Padres? Because don't we have to finish a game?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. So it would be 10. Wait, hold on. I'm confused. I know one of the games against the Padres, we were down by like 1 run in the 5th inning.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that's going to be like aside from it or what.
Yeah.
Also, I gotta wrap up.
Okay. All right. Braves should just win ball games.
Yeah.
If we win games, then we don't
Good
lose.
things happen.
So again, to continue the plan that I had from last time, if we just win, and then the Phillies just lose, and then we just win, and then the Phillies just lose, and then we just
That's
win,
easy.
and then the Phillies just lose, and then we just win.
Okay,
That's
okay,
it.
Griffin.
Wait, what's our magic number
It's
right
9.
now? Is it 9?
Yeah. We're so close.
5 Braves wins, 4 Phillies losses,
Mm-hmm.
or 9 Phillies losses, 0 Braves wins.
Braves wins.
Yeah.
Either way.
Either way.
Oh man. Okay.
No. Okay.
All right. Well,
Let's beat the Padres. Let's beat the dads.
Let's beat the dads. Let's beat the fathers.
Beat the dads. The fathers. The San Diego fathers.
All
right.
Go Pirates.
Go Pirates.
That's about it. Will, you have any commentary about the Cardinals winning the wild card?
12
Griffin. No.
Okay.
No, I have nothing.
All right.
Go
All right.
Dodgers. Go Dodgers.
Go
That's
Dodgers.
all I have to say.
All right.
Go Dodgers. All right, bye.
See ya.